Well, Dan is definitely one of the more popular solo carry junglers over the past, well, I guess decade at this point. However, at the moment, she's in this great strong spot, has been for about a year, where she's not really in the meta, but she's in the meta, if you know what I mean. And what's interesting about her is while she's typically a farm, get level 6, run over people like a freight train champion, we have seen a lot more like doing a red quadrant into a gank, into a reset, down here as well. So it's really interesting to see how her strategy versatility has increased, and now obviously, as we can see from the thumbnail, the build in Season 15. How can this champion take over against what is known as an abomination? This is an abomination champion. He is being nerfed slightly in 15.3 or whatever patch note code they're using nowadays. However, he will still be good from what I've seen. It's not going to like remove him from the meta or anything like this. Diana, on the other hand, is under the radar, not going to be nerfed. She's super duper strong. She does have her weaknesses and downsides. But a good Diana player is really enjoying the season because she does like fisting. You know, yeah, you want a full clear, yeah, you want to get 6, but because of her double gap close and the E mechanic there, she has enough mobility in a gank with a great angle to get a lot of kills because the damage is just, you know, very strong. Booties and Conqueror and these sorts of runes, we're not going to talk too much about them, but yeah, you know, the shift out of domination does suck. Doesn't affect most of the champions recovering at the moment because the meta is defined by those that have not been hurt by it. Obviously, we will have Electrocute buffs and Dark Harvest buffs that will change things around, but Diana won't care. She's run Electrocute in the past, she's not going to now, she'll run Conqueror. The jungle meta won't shift in terms of what she can do within it, right? In terms of Atakan, I gotta stop confusing those two names, plus everything else on the map that we have provided. So, full clear here is done. We look at the state of the map, we know that we've got a Senna Corki bottom lane that typically is a sign for be wary, don't go down there. We know that the Wukong most likely is passed all the way down, and of course if you have vision, you will track that very easily, so do be wary of enemy jungler start positions. If you don't see anything, if you obviously have the deep wards, you know exactly where he is, so no stress. In this particular case, Wukong is down here. He's pinging, saying, okay, she must be up here because she's not down there. And by now we have indirect evidence, right? No Wukong here. He must be on the bottom side. You absolutely must head to Virkayu.gg. Not only do I have a free jungle improvement resource, I also have a dedicated program with jungle video courses, jungle coaching classes, a jungle VOD library. Courses will be prepped for Season 15 as soon as the changes are stable. All the fundamentals you need for right now are available in a ridiculous amount of hours for content tailored for your MMR so you can climb to reach your peak rank. As we saw from all of those people hitting their peak dreams in Season 14 as fast as possible. So to hit your peak rank in Season 15 and jungle diff every game you play, head to the link in the description below or to Virkayu.gg. And we can look to maybe reverse clear up here onto the Yasuo. I do like this. Great early gank. Look at this. See this? She hasn't even shown yet. When you're ganking, this is what you want to do. Nice and tight against the wall. Fog of War abuse. Make sure you get in there. Show as late as possible. Unlike the coaching video we looked at on the main channel just yesterday. Guy goes in to get a kill. He gets it, but he dies. And for us, super juicy. We gave up the Scuttle Crab as well. Now, sometimes this is I'm leaving it should die, but don't finish the Scuttle if you can get up here and get this kill. You can always fall back down to do it. Wukong will track you. See the 24 CS. No, you haven't done it. And this is why, as we have a battle. See, Wukong now is compromising himself quite severely, actually. I mean, this is worth talking about. Look at this. He's going to show up here and be like, all right, well, you know, I'm just going to go back to base. He sees down the top side. He wards here. None of this is really necessary from his perspective. He should be protecting his top side respawns, right? He thinks Diana maybe started down here, so maybe he can counter jungle this at 420. But that's why I love the Diana's pathing. That's why I love reverse clearing. She paths down, loops back out of vision. Guy's no idea what she did, right? No idea. Now he's like, well, why doesn't she have the Scuttle Crab? And so the Wukong does shadow the scenario, but it's now pushed out of his own jungle. Diana's not going to waste any time there. She knows that this... Well, as always, leave your camps if you can rotate and get the kill. Level 6 there, auto attack, shield, ult burned, guy goes back in. That's where Diana's just super strong as well. The Conqueror here now, you can see here 53 healing. You think it's not enough, but that little juice is always nice. But unfortunately for us, top lane is not succeeding. So ultimately, the lesson here in this early phase is full clear down, look for gank. Can I do Scuttle? No. Swap over to the other Scuttle, either for basing and going direct or just cutting back. I like the cutback myself. It allows us to have a better first buy. Then gank the top lane if it's gankable. Leave some deep vision on the Wukong so we can see exactly where he is. Good shit. After that, obviously don't overgreed for counter jungling here. Just fall back to your Grub. When you see a situation like this, please react, rotate. She finished her Grub fortunately, but if you have to give up the Grub, you do so, you grab the kill. We burned his ultimate, that's fantastic. Now we go to the top side. There's a couple of things we could do. She's going to do this, but the reason she chooses to do this is because you look at bot lane, Giga winning now, all right? Giga winning. So this is where things change for us, okay? Senna, Corki, we know. Usually they're inting, but now they're actually popping off, and he's 4-0-0. He's super fed. We know that the Wukong path down, he's going to reset or stay down, and he's going to be here. Do we think we can win any of these scenarios? Do we want to contest and prevent? Your decision. Because she comes out of base to finish off the quadrant, tidy up, and now go for the grubs. She could always do this, cut in, cut down for the counter gank, cut in, and then go for this, or sequence and cut it for this. She's choosing to just go for this as soon as possible with the Gambit tempo that she has as an advantage over the Wukong. Now, this guy's going to show up. She has ult now. Now she is seen, which is tragic. Wukong hasn't even based yet, which is not a good idea. And at this stage, we see that the dragon has not disappeared, has not been taken. We know this is most likely warded, so we clear it up. Super juicy. RNG. Well, not RNG, but spawning plus RNG spawn. Instead of going for those things and giving them away for free, at this point, we're like, okay, well, did Wukong simply just not base and stay out, and now he's gone back to base, which means Wukong will go topside? Can I not just then sequence down here, prevent possible counter jungling, do the dragon, and then go ahead and maybe gank bot lane or something like that? Yes, to all those things. Because this guy, delaying his base so much, really threw him off, well, off of everything. Don't know why he would stay out like that. He's hurt himself. And Dyne is basically saying, look, I'll give you the top scuttle. I'll give you my blue. I don't care because I have a huge lead here. So if this is something I can gank, destroy, and snack, if I lose these things to by inting Aatrox, you know, I don't want to lose them, but if I could snowball my Corki and myself more, I will. However, that gank is not possible. The Wukong hasn't shown up for a while. We don't really know what he's doing. And if I don't need to force a dragon and a gank and a dive bot lane, so I can just protect my stuff and prevent the counter jungling, then I'll do it. Because this is exactly what we want to do. We don't want to give him anything for free because we have the advantage, right? Well, we have the same CS, but we have the advantage. There's a jungle diff going on. Hopefully you can see it. We smite the sucker. We check to see if this is available. So, okay, it is. So you go ahead and snack that baby. Now you can just fully sequence down, or you can cut into the mid lane, look for a gank here as well. Wukong isn't showing any pressure, so I'm not too sure what he's doing. We'll focus on ourselves here. Make sure we can get that. There you go. We're going to go for the flash E and the R. We'll have another E proc to use as well. There it is. And Senna's rotating over. Bot lane's rotating over. Nice prior. Good gank. Use our flash to do not get stunned. And this guy shows up finally after a while. And you're like, well, don't know what you've been doing, buddy. But thanks so much for the Dragon. Because we can take this now as well. So right there you see Dyne is 201. Slightly lower KP. But everything's been very, very efficient. Right, we can agree on that one. It's all been very, very efficient. We don't need to rotate to this, I think, guys. Can we just finish this up, please? We see Yasuo coming. I don't want to overcommit there, boys. Now you kind of might have to sell your team out a little bit for that dragon. We done a vault. You look at it, you watch it, you're like, well, maybe I should have just left. Should have left sooner. Should have just been gone. You're already on the Krugs right now. If your team want to overcommit, let them overcommit. Corki's shoving up here, no vision control. Obviously, be careful. Wukong will think about it. Well, he killed himself anyway. Like, you're low, you got no mana. I see the wave sucks, but why are you overcommitting to shove it? Just base, reset, and deal with the fallout afterwards. I don't understand the need to die there. For the perfect wave crash and denial, you're dead. And now that you denied yourself. And no, Dyna should not help you in that particular situation. So, 1100 in pocket. Chooses to stay out a little bit longer. Good job, Silas. See, we scan here. I don't think we should scan here. I think, you know, when you're ganking like this, it's shoved up pretty well. As soon as you move into the lane and he backs off like that, he's like, oh, I've seen you. You know it's water, so you can scan on the way out. But by scanning on the way in, it's okay to scan on the way in if you want to exert some patience and things like this. But if you see a gank that you can just straight go for, if it's watered or not, go for it. If he sees you with enough time and can back away, okay, it's watered, clear it on your way out. Here she's clearing to see maybe I can invest some time into this gank to see if I can sit in this bush. But because this is crashing, right? We're not going to be waiting in this bush too long. Aatrox should be okay. He's got ult up. I mean, these minions, they hit hard, but they're not going to ruin our lives. we can definitely all in on this one exactly the same way as the first gank. But that's fine. Once he backs off here, you know it's warded zone. Much of a muchness, wouldn't have changed anything. Grubs are up. We want to make sure we snack at least one here to get 4 for the Might proc, and also so we don't give a free objective over to the Wukong. And instead, we're going to go and turn onto the Yasuo. Knock back, into suck back. Over the wall he goes. Silas rotates up. I don't know what the Wukong is doing. But if you're talking about how to jungle in Season 15, why Dyna's so good, is because when you get this advantage over enemy junglers with intelligent ganks, right? Like intelligent ganks, good rotations, founded on a baseline of sequencing, you are an assassin. You will dominate every game you play with this champion, especially with the build we're going to see. More HP, good damage over time, and really everything you could want in a champion. The Wukong then gets a little desperate. Like this, he should just give up and farm down and try and do something else. He ruined his whole jungling game plan from the first phase because she read the map perfectly, and that's really where Dyna shines. If you understand sequencing, playing around your ganks before and afterwards, rotating, playing around 6 as a prerogative, and then snacking those objectives with pressure points, she's just such a total jungler, even if she doesn't have quote-unquote CC pre-6. Well, she doesn't, so I guess, yeah, she doesn't. But at 6 she does, and she dominates. She doesn't really need the CC because of the gap close, so. If you can keep sustaining your damage, CC is great so you can keep sustaining your damage and keep them into place to kill them. Here we go again, though. See, nice wide angle here a little bit more just to make sure we get a good approach. That Q, there we go. Waiting for Yasuo to stop dancing around for a second before we end up going for it. We hit it, throw another Q out, we actually get nothing there. We're just going to ult to make sure he dies. That's the Nash's Tooth Spike, by the way. Those champions for Dyna, that's where you really want CC, right? Lock him in place so he can hit my spells, but she's just patient with it. She says, you know what? You keep doing that, eventually I'll just press the button, you'll die. Wukong, again, bottom side here, 0-1-0. Everyone is losing. Well, actually, it's not even true. It's just mid, and jungle's got hands off. But now she's up 20 CS. Can counter jungle this beautifully. Veigar's in the mid lane. We got 1 point left here, so the grubbies are going to come in big and strong. Can look to gank the Yasuo again. Obviously, no ult this time, so I don't really want to do too much without my ult, especially if Aatrox is going back to base. Let's go by. Get ourselves the Faded Ashes. Now we can move up the clearing speed in the mid game. Always a good thing to think about, right? Can my champion ramp up clear speed at 13-minute onward so I can loop camp super quick and be everywhere for the fights necessary? And again, Dyna likes fights. She really does like fights. You don't want to go in against a heavy CC comp and be like, why am I dying? That's where you can buy Zhonya's, but, you know, don't allow those scenarios to occur here. Watch. Watch, watch. I would assume Wukong's going to be on the top side here. She's going to flash Q, get that E proc, just keep auto-attacking and stacking the passive, and he dies. Didn't have to use anything else. Beautiful, easy, fresh. There's Wukong down 3 levels. It's such a difference. This is what I'm making videos like this at the moment, where I'm quite emphatic about if you want to be a ganking jungler, there's a way to do it. And I'll make a video on that as well, specifically if you want to be like the Lee Sins, the Rek'Sais, and things like this. Even the Wukong, we've looked at the Wukong, how it can be so strong. But as a baseline, your fundamental jungling has not changed season to season here. You benefit more from being present in fights and being able to rotate proactively to fights. That's a difficult skill that people need to learn and get better at because of everyone's on edge for feats of strength and the list of things they need to do and the autocan and things like that. But it's always been the best way to jungle because you have a great fusion of lane impact, objective control, experience a gold income from your camps, and then you can use that to get in the enemy jungler's face. And Dyna's just such a big face roll champion. So if you knock those things out in terms of theory and how you apply them every game, you're always going to be fed. There should really be a game as Dyna where you're not close enough in experience that you can actually make a lot of things happen. Leandry's complete. I'm really curious about this because now this is the most popular thing. We have a lot of HP stackers here. Well, not here like I meant in the meta. People building HP across the board. And obviously we just want the survivability, the burn take damage, and damage over time. These are massive things. We already do a lot of damage anyway, right? So yes, you can go the Lich Bane. We've talked about the Lich Bane burst build and split build. We're going more for the, hey, can I go in and survive build while just whittling you down very slowly with my obscene build. So let's see what damage we actually end up getting. We're at 0 obviously now. We're being run down here. Don't forget to pick up your plants. Silas goes in to a Braum. All right. Do we have damage here? Okay, let's see. It's perfect opportunity. 2 items, no mana on the Misfortune. Doesn't matter that there's a Braum. This is what I'm talking about. Get to this phase of the game and be absolutely outrageously strong. All right. We do have our E-proc here that we can use. We're just going to ult to make sure that the Braum stays still and in space. TB's been committed here for the Veigar. Make sure we save our E to get over the wall. You see he's backing up because he knows he has to. All the threat of that E in the world is just allowing her to bide her time. There we go, Senna. Whoop. Key over the wall. Massive, massive. 302. 302 damage. From just this trade here. Massive. So nice damage over time. You get the tick, tick, boom. You become very, very difficult to kill, which is the name of the game when it comes to Diana. I didn't look at the build beyond. I like to be surprised, actually. A lot of time in these, I like to be surprised. I just want to know, you know, is this a good game with a good story, a good lesson, a good build, win rate? Yes, cool. But then let's see how they adapt in real time and what they build in real time. Always more interesting that way. So Herald's up at 60 minutes. Don't forget to rotate over to that if your team has it under control. You don't need to leave what you're doing. Do your camp first, your quadrant first. And again, Leandry's Faded Ashes allows you to do those quadrants quickly, right? That's what I'm talking about here. I can do the whole quadrant into the Herald, pick it up, go into their jungle now. I lose nothing. There's no counter jungling. I have such a big-ass lead. It's outrageous. I'm 7-0-3. Now we're trapping. This is what you want to do. Wukong should know that there's a possible trap going on here. He doesn't because, well, I think at this point it's very clear that this Wukong doesn't know much about anything. There is the R. You will die. Jump into the Herald. Do we want to do a knockup? There we go. We'll smack that turret down. Misfortune is going to ult. We'll just go backline and kill her because, as I said, we're an assassin. And we assassinate everybody as Diana. I think we're learning this very quickly. Yes. This game goes on for a while, though. Like, you're looking at this and thinking, it's over, right? Well, here's the thing that we have not spoken about. Where's the chat gone? It's gone. This thing here. We didn't speak about this. This is going to be coming up. So I'm not sure what's going to be happening, all right, in terms of who secures it and such things. But it's a Veigar. He scales. He's got wave clear. It's a Braum. It's tough to go in on them if he does his job properly. Yasuo is, I don't want to say reasonably fed. He's got 6,600 gold now, so he's not really fed at all. He's just absolutely useless, which is hilarious because this, again, shows a lot of what I've been saying for this season in particular, with it being more active in terms of fights and kills and such things. The Aatrox died twice solo, right? And one was when we were on a game, not a solo, but, you know, Yasuo killed him during our gank, and then he died again. Largely, you were told, okay, well, that's a losing lane, let them be. True. But immediately, you saw my perspective. It's a Corki Senna against a Braum. Like, I have no 6 yet. That's a tough lane to gank. I don't want to waste too much time on that. This guy has CC. This guy's being is overcommitting. Maybe we can do a lot of damage top lane. Get the grubs, play around that, which we did. And the whole point was, yes, the Aatrox was losing, but we were so fed as Diana that we could offset that and just kill him. It was no stress for us. So the goal is always to be as strong as possible, that ganking a losing lane isn't really a discussion that you have outside of extreme scenarios. It's just, hey, that top lane is fed, but I can kill him because I'm more fed and I'm stronger and I can do it. And then you can snowball and play around your ADC and other lanes afterwards, right? It's just about getting that level that makes that lane gankable. Pre-6, Corki center lane, not always very enthusiastic about it, especially if they're going to shove up, and they should have lane control and wards. If they die, they die. As long as you're fed, you can control it, right? So, great example of non-obvious ganking paths in terms of who's ahead in lane, compositions, and things like that. Warded, splitting on the bottom side here. Obviously, we will have Attica in 8 minutes. So, the enemy team are holding on here. They know they can scale up with the Veigar. They know they've got a decent comp to make things happen. There's Yasuo going in. There's Misfortune's ult going through. Down, he just dashes up the wall, gets a killer. Ult's a single target. Probably could have held that one a little bit longer. There's Wukong coming into the backline. I'm going to flash to reposition. Veigar flashes into the Event Horizon. Corki flashes out. There's the R coming in from the Wukong, and Misfortune just cleans this up very, very quickly because she do be fed. One of those scenarios where you might want to look at it as let your team die and go do the dragon to at least control that, or turn back and see if you can win the fight or not. As always here, if you can turn back and win the fight, do it. Fortunately, Silas was like, you know what? I think I'll show up. Well, thanks, guy. Appreciate that. Either way, you see what I'm saying. Veigar, Misfortune. Yep. Could be tough. Okay, level 15, gold amount 11,200. We are huge. Look how quickly this quadrant was rinsed and snacked. Don't force the Attican. Just do the dragon first. If we can turn on the dragon really, really easily. Don't want to overcommit and die in the Attican. We'd rather do the dragon, make them think twice about things, let the waves push up. Now rinse it as a team, as a squad. We get that. Go farming. Go gardening, yes, take all of these things, make sure your team do get them. If they don't, make sure you get them. Next up for us is Baron, so now we got 3 minutes of quiet. But we do have the Ruinous Atacan available to us with the boost on all of our dragons plus grubs. So that's something we're going to want to use. There is a Yasuo going in. We do miss that one, but it doesn't really matter. Her ult does so much damage. 641 to 726. It looks like it does more. I don't know. It's one of the great spells, honestly. When you use it, you feel like... You feel that damage come through. It's a cool spell. 1460, by the way, on the Liandridge, for those of you worried about it. Is this actually allowing her to do burst damage? Yes. Because she does so much, and now she can survive longer, and all the things that Liandridge does, right? Max HP damage, pretty good. So we're going to go for the Zhonya's next. Obviously, against this combo, I think that's based. That's a normal way to go, third item anyway, even if you were to go Lich Bane, just because Diana goes in. You don't have an escape. So if you're going to go in and they're going to play or make a play themselves, you want to be able to survive and come up with cooldowns ready to juice yourself. Here, obviously, this is 14 seconds still base, but this is 4.57. You want to play around those cooldowns big time, especially the E-dash. That's water. We can ping that off. There it is. Avoid. See, look at delay entries on the Q poke there just alone, sort of ticking. You see, here's where you're going to want to use it. There it is. You can ult and use it as well, as you saw. Nice zoning tool. Get them baited in. Obviously, we'll get the full buy Zhonya, so we'll have another stasis for the next fight. But, win wall, Brom, Misfortune backline. When, like, you can see the struggle. This is where Dinah does struggle, where assassins can struggle a little bit, but she's not a pure assassin. She's also an AP bruiser and a split pusher and an assassin. She's a lot of things. I think a lot of those things have lost meaning anyway. When they release the abominations and champions that they have been releasing. Yeah, it's like more like what class of champion are they not? It's really the question these days. So, 25 minutes. Baron arising. We're waiting for our team to respawn here. So what we can do is kite outside in, Krugs inward towards the Baron cut. I do prefer that. If you don't feel you need to do that and you can make a pick here, please go for the pick. But obviously this is now a little bit aggressive. I don't always subscribe to this sorts of overcommitment unless you are truly trying to throw the game or 1v9 a scenario. I feel like there's no between here. We're ego fighting or we're throwing. I feel like we very much had an easy route. Like our team have collapsed with us and rotated with us, but how many times have you guys seen where Silas pushes, they push, which is what they're meant to do, by the way, in this situation. But typically in your games, lower MMRs, beneath Master in this particular case, cut, shove, set up, make a pick if you want to, but then start to rinse and stack this baby up, and then you guys can set up a nice 1-3-1 and just basically end from it. It's easier to get your team to do that than it is to stay down here, split, go way too deep, and be like, yo guys, help me! Because as you can see, doesn't always happen, does it? However, fortunately, this game it did. So now we cut into it, now we go. So it's the same exact damn thing, just with less risk. I stand by my play. That's because I have to. With my champions, the way I've played this game for so long, my off-meta stuff, I need to get to this phase of the game where the fact that I was a jungler is irrelevant. I've got my items, now we can play the game. Oh boy. Ooh, good flash. But now that you show, they will shove this out really, really hard. We get 2 in base, so we should base here as well, which we do. Finish off the Zhonyas, plus have our Needlessly Large Rod, plus the Mejai's. Zhonyas we already had. They're going to try and contest this to stop the Soul, because the Atacan Soul. We're just trying to rinse it. Aatrox is splitting top lane with the Baron. And just to show you, there's the Aatrox, and of course, now Corki's in the back of the pit. Dyna's just accepting, like, look, we can't outsmite this guy, purely because he has Bonk Smite, and we're cut off here. We don't have numbers. Why are we fully sending it? Corki's in the back line there. He's going to hit me up at the wall. Dyna's just respacing. She can catch this wave and ditch. I like that. You can always go back and fight, but you can always just ditch. Even with this build, you're hugely strong. There it is. Push, 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 push. You're still a bear, and they're the mites. Finish off this turret. Obviously, now you will be collapsed upon, so we're trusting that you can just kill everybody. There's the ult. There's the Q when she dies. There's the stasis. Cooldowns are now really down. We will be stunned and killed. That is downside of her play there, but obviously pushing up and retracting and not dying is the best play. Here's exactly what I'm talking about. They're literally chasing a Yasuo instead of taking the base while you have 4 people on you. that is why I prefer earlier just to go for the cut here. Thank you, Silas. Because as soon as you make this split push here, and again, it's a little aggressive, and honestly, in retrospect, in-game, you should be aware of the underneath cut. As long as you can kill two. Here, if you take 4 people, kill 2, maybe 3 if you can, your team should be rinsing their entire base. But they were chasing Yasuo. And that's where a lot of risk comes in. So, that'll be our macro mistake of the day. We're going to respawn here, come out of base, watching how the map is being collapsed inward. We're going to snack away the wolves and the blue. We're going to have level 18 here. And basically, losing our measure stacks there is not good, but this is it. Wait for top lane to siege in unless they misstep. Wait for this unless they misstep. Alright? Unless you see an opening. There is the opening, I think. Yo, that's a juicy one. That's a juicy one. You see how she doesn't go in fully that time? Patience says, hey, I could definitely AoE this and make this sexy, but I'm not going to because, you know, I just want to win the game. My team's got this. I don't need to worry about it. Red team, overcommitted. They know it. It's over. It's GG. 12-2-10. Damage on Leandra's the other end, 3,211. Massive showcase about Diana's power in a lot of different phases. And obviously a little bit of a boo-boo on the split push there. I do like ditching the dragon and pushing, just within reason. And I do prefer the cut there for the Baron earlier, rather than floating with this deep invade, because as you saw, relies a little bit on your team. So in high elo, okay, but in diamond and emerald and gold, you know, so Diana, strong.